So, when you think of Saudi Arabia, what's the first thing that comes to mind? For most of us, it's oil, right? But believe it or not, the kingdom is making this massive bet on a totally different resource, brainpower. It's a huge national pivot, and at the heart of it is this incredibly specific goal to build some of the best universities on the entire planet, and to do it fast. Let's dig into why. Okay, so you see this number, 200. What's so special about that? Well, it's not just some random number. It represents a very exclusive club, the world's most elite, top-ranked universities. You can think of it as the Ivy League for the whole world. These places are the absolute centers of research, innovation, and global influence. Getting on this list, that's the ultimate seal of approval for academic excellence. And that leads us to the big question for this whole explainer. Why the intense focus on this one number? Why pour billions and billions of dollars into hitting this very specific and, frankly, incredibly difficult target? The answer, it turns out, reveals the real motivation behind one of the most ambitious national transformations happening anywhere in the world today. To really get the why, we have to start by understanding the problem they're trying to solve. You see, for decades, Saudi Arabia's greatest strength, all that immense oil wealth, has also been a kind of hidden weakness. It's a paradox that economists have a great name for, the resource curse. The resource curse is such a fascinating idea. Basically, when you have one resource that's so incredibly profitable, it can actually crowd out everything else. Your economy just doesn't diversify. It becomes less resilient and totally dependent on the price of that one single thing. And as our source material points out, Saudi Arabia has long been seen as a textbook case of this exact problem. And that economic challenge gets a whole lot more intense when you factor in the demographics. Half of the entire population is under 25 years old. I mean, that is an incredible wave of young, talented people who are going to need opportunities. So the key thing to realize is, diversifying the economy isn't just some nice long-term goal. It is an immediate, urgent necessity to create a future for millions. So what's the plan? Well, the official answer is this massive national blueprint called Saudi Vision 2030. It's a plan to completely reshape the country's economy, its society, everything. And one of the absolute core pillars of that vision is a very specific, very measurable, and honestly, very audacious academic target. And there it is, right there in black and white. This isn't just some vague aspiration, it's a direct order from the very top. This one single sentence is the engine driving a complete overhaul of the country's higher education system. So the question becomes, how on earth do you actually pull that off? Because here's the thing, climbing the global university rankings isn't just about building shiny new campuses. No way. It's a super competitive game with a very specific rulebook. And if you want to win, you have to know exactly how you're being scored. So let's take a look at the code. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. Just look at how these points are handed out. A massive 40%, almost half, comes from academic reputation. That's literally just what other academics around the world think of your university. Then another 20% is from research citations, which means how often other smart people are referencing the work your professors are doing. It shows you it's not just about money, it's about building real influence and intellectual impact on a global scale. So once you see that scoring system, the strategy starts to become a whole lot clearer, right? You can't just cross your fingers and hope for the best. You have to create a playbook that targets every single one of those metrics. So let's see what that playbook actually looks like. And here it is. You can see exactly how it all connects. You focus on high-impact research, and boom, that directly boosts your research citations score. You attract talented international faculty, and you foster global collaborations. Bam! That drives up your academic reputation score and your international ratios. Every single one of these strategies is a calculated move in this global rankings game. But it's so important to remember, this whole thing isn't just about climbing a list to get bragging rights. The ultimate payoff, the real goal, is so much bigger than that. This entire academic project is the foundation for fundamentally changing the entire Saudi economy, shifting from an economy based on what you pull out of the ground to one based on what you create in the mind. And if you're wondering if this massive shift is actually working, well, here's the proof. Recent analysis shows that the contribution from non-oil sectors to the country's GDP has already hit 50%. This isn't some far-off dream. The diversification is happening right now, and it's creating a huge demand for a brand new kind of workforce.
And this chart right here shows you exactly where that new workforce is needed. You can't have a booming tech sector without world-class computer scientists and engineers. You can't become a leader in healthcare without top-tier medical schools and research labs. These universities are literally being built to be the engines that power these new, knowledge-based industries.
Which leaves us with this one final fascinating thought. Saudi Arabia is essentially betting its entire future on this idea that world-class universities can do more than just educate people, that they can actually be the catalysts to create a whole new kind of economy, a whole new kind of society. It's a grand experiment, and it's asking a really powerful question. Can a nation really build a brand new future, one university at a time?